I was 33 years old when my wedding day turned into the most terrifying day of my life. The ceremony had been perfect. The sun was shining, my guests were smiling, and for the first time in years, I felt completely happy. My husband, Ethan, couldn't stop looking at me. Every time our eyes met, he smiled like he couldn't believe I was finally his wife. My older brother, Ryan, was there too. Everyone loved Ryan. He was funny, charming, and always knew how to make people laugh. Growing up, I trusted him more than anyone. That's why I never suspected him. During the reception, I stepped away for a few minutes to greet some relatives. When I came back, I noticed Ryan standing near my table. He quickly moved away as soon as he saw me. "Everything okay?" I asked. He smiled. "Of course, sis. Best day of your life, right?" Something felt strange about the way he said it, but I ignored the feeling. A few minutes later, I took a sip from my champagne glass. Within 20 minutes, the room started spinning. My hands trembled. My vision blurred. Then I collapsed right in the middle of my own wedding reception. As guests screamed and Ethan rushed toward me, I caught a glimpse of Ryan across the room, and to my shock, he wasn't panicking. He was smiling. I remember hearing distant voices as everything around me faded in and out. It felt like I was trapped underwater, unable to fully wake up. When I finally opened my eyes, I was lying in a hospital bed. The first face I saw was Ethan's. His eyes were red from crying. The moment he realized I was awake, he grabbed my hand and held it tightly. "Thank God," he whispered. "You scared all of us." I tried to sit up, but my body felt weak. "What happened?" I asked. Ethan hesitated. Then he told me something that made my stomach drop. The doctors had found traces of a powerful sedative in my system. Someone had put it in my drink. At first, I couldn't believe it. Who would do something like that? And why on my wedding day? The next morning, a police officer arrived to ask questions. I told him everything I could remember. Then one detail suddenly came back to me. Ryan, standing beside my table, walking away when he saw me. That strange smile, that strange tone in his voice. For the first time in my life, I wondered if my own brother could be involved. But before I could say anything, my mother rushed into the room. The moment Ryan's name came up, she became defensive. "Absolutely not," she snapped. "Your brother would never hurt you." Her reaction shocked me. Nobody had even accused him yet. So why was she already protecting him? That question stayed in my mind for days, and what I discovered next would reveal a family secret that had been hidden for years. The more I thought about it, the less my mother's reaction made sense. I wasn't accusing Ryan, not yet, but the second his name came up, she acted like she already knew something. That feeling wouldn't leave me alone. A few days after I was discharged from the hospital, Ethan and I started asking questions. Most of the wedding guests hadn't noticed anything unusual, but one person did. Our wedding photographer. While reviewing hundreds of photos from the reception, she found something strange. In one sequence of pictures, Ryan could clearly be seen standing beside my table while I was talking to relatives across the room. In the next photo, he was reaching toward my champagne glass. My heart nearly stopped when I saw it. It wasn't absolute proof, but it was enough to make me feel sick. When I confronted Ryan, he laughed. Actually laughed. "You're seriously accusing me because of a photograph?" he said. Then he called me paranoid and stormed out. But his reaction only made me more suspicious. A week later, the police investigation uncovered something even worse. A witness had come forward. One of the catering staff remembered seeing Ryan arguing with someone behind the reception hall before the ceremony started. According to the employee, Ryan looked furious. The argument wasn't about me. It was about money, a lot of money. That's when another shocking truth surfaced. Ryan was drowning in debt. Credit cards, personal loans, gambling losses. He had hidden it from everyone for years, including our parents. Suddenly, pieces of the puzzle started falling into place, but I still didn't understand why he would target me. Then Ethan discovered something that changed everything. Just 3 months before the wedding, our grandmother had updated her will, and according to that will, I was set to inherit a significant portion of her estate. More than Ryan, much more. The moment I learned that, my blood ran cold. Because for the first time, I could see a motive. But what happened next was even more devastating. The person who finally exposed Ryan wasn't a stranger. It wasn't the police. It wasn't Ethan. It was our own mother. And when she finally told the truth, my entire world shattered. 3 days after the police uncovered Ryan's financial problems, my mother called me and asked to meet her alone. The moment I saw her, I knew something was wrong. She looked exhausted. Her eyes were swollen from crying. For several minutes, she couldn't even look at me. Then she finally whispered the words that changed everything. "I know what Ryan did." I felt my heart stop. My mother broke down in tears and admitted that Ryan had confessed everything. To her, the night after my wedding, he had secretly slipped crushed sedatives into my champagne. Not because he wanted to kill me, but because he wanted to ruin the wedding reception and create a medical emergency. His plan was simple: embarrass me, create chaos, make the happiest day of my life unforgettable for all the wrong reasons. And beneath it all was years of jealousy. Jealousy over my career, my marriage, my relationship with our grandmother, and most of all, the inheritance he believed should have been his. When my mother finished speaking, I felt like I was mourning someone who was still alive. The brother I loved never really existed. The police obtained Ryan's confession shortly afterward. Faced with the evidence, he finally admitted everything. The criminal charges that followed destroyed the reputation he had spent years building. Friends disappeared. Business opportunities vanished. Even some family members refused to speak to him. But the biggest consequence wasn't legal. It was personal. He lost everyone's trust, including mine. Months later, he tried contacting me. He sent letters, voicemails, messages filled with apologies. He said he was sorry. He said he wanted his sister back. But some betrayals leave scars too deep to erase. For the first time in my life, I chose myself instead of family obligation. I never responded. Meanwhile, Ethan and I finally took the honeymoon that had been stolen from us. Sitting on a beach one evening watching the sunset, I realized something important. Ryan had spent years trying to take things from me. My happiness, my confidence, my wedding day. But in the end, he failed. Because real revenge wasn't seeing him suffer. It was refusing to let his actions define my future. He lost his family, lost his reputation. He lost the sister who once trusted him completely. And I gained something far more valuable: peace. The happiest part of my story wasn't watching my brother fall. It was realizing that despite everything he did, I still got the life he was so desperate to take from me.